Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid. And this week, it's been a long road. A lot of you have, basically been, Mathis, where's all your Zomboid content? I did, at one point, take a break. I wanted to do it every other day, but that every other day thing turned into once a week. I got kind of caught up in a lot of projects, and then something came up that basically said, okay, I'm going to put the brakes on Zomboid just for a little bit as we kind of work our way into what's about to happen. And that is the official early access Steam release of Project Zomboid, the thing that we've all been waiting for. Now, this day has been in talks for a while, and I've kind of known that this was the day they were aiming for, but there were still a lot of variables that basically made it unsure if it was going to be coming out on this particular day. And I couldn't say anything unless I got the okay, and the okay basically came in the form of the Mondoid that allowed them to announce that day. And that day is going to be Friday, November 8th. This coming Friday. 4 days. 4 days away, and we are going to be on Steam. It has been an incredibly long road, and it's super exciting. I've been working on a lot of content for this, so real quick, we'll go over the blog, and then we're going to talk about what my plans are and what's going to be happening that weekend. So, they're basically saying that what was stopping them from announcing the November 8th release date was just, smoothing out bugs. They didn't want to put out a version of the game that was incredibly unstable. Sure, it's going to have bugs, it's alpha, it's early access, it's going to happen. That is what it's for. Any game is like that. I mean, look at Space-Based DF9, for instance. One of the earliest freaking prototypes of a game by Double Fine has bugs. But it's stable, and they wanted to make sure they had a solid, frames per second, at least 30 minimum. And there's actually the ability to lock that into a 30 frames per second for lower-end machines, so it should work pretty well. So that was what was holding them off. So, with all that said, and they finally have a stable build, what I've been tirelessly, and a lot of us have been tirelessly testing over and over and over again to make sure we have something stable for the 8th. Now that we do have it, early access is a given. We are coming out on November 8th. And they essentially say they can't wait anymore. They could continually push it off like they have been in the past, where they're like, well, we want to keep it getting better. We want to make sure it's better, it's better, it's better, it's better. But there's going to come a point, and I think they've realized there comes a point where pushing it and making it better and better and better just defeats the purpose. You're kind of just, at that point, you might as well just say, well, fuck it. Let's just not release it on early access. Let's just release it when it's fully done a couple years from now. Because the greenlight process was to get the game out there early, and that was the point. And I think they finally realized that the further they push it, the worse it's going to be. And I mean, in my opinion, the later they end up pushing it, the worse it's going to be. Because right now, if you look, DayZ could come out at any point. You have State of Decay. Then you have the holiday sale coming up. And then if they realistically wanted to keep pushing it, you'd be looking at sometime next year, probably after December, which is a long way away. And in my opinion, as I've said quite vocally, on Mondoids and everything before, that the further they keep pushing this out, the further they keep prolonging it, the worse it's going to end up being for the game. The game is already, late on Steam as it is, in my opinion, just because of everything that's happened. There was a point in time where Zomboid was a hot topic. Was like, this, look at this game, and it's already waned pretty significantly. And it's kind of ramping up again. People are excited, and I think getting onto Steam is going to give it that push that it needs. So I'm very happy they locked down the 8th, and that is going to be what is going to be the definitive day to release the early access version of the game, putting it out in front of everybody. With that said, there's a launch weekend, which is going to be full of cool stuff, which I'm going to talk to in a little bit. We're going to skip this for a minute. The price into Sir, they're putting the final bit of polish on the game, and they'll be raising the price of the game to $15.99, essentially. It's £9.99, $15.99 US dollars. And however, that being said, the game is going to be 50% off on the release of the game, off on sale upon release, taking it down to the original price just for limited time. So for all those who are waiting, there is going to be a 50% off, so you can grab that game nice and cheap right at launch on Steam. If you miss that sale, you're going to miss it until, who knows when we'll see the game on sale again. And there is going to be a trailer made by Josh H., who did the original trailer for Zomboid, and they're looking for all kinds of cool, stable, 30 frames per second, footage There's all kinds of rules to it that they're linking to that you can go, put your footage into a contest to be used for that trailer, which is really, really cool. But the big thing, the thing that you all need to be here for, is the launch weekend. The launch weekend is going to be huge. So seeing it's launching on Friday, there's going to be a huge event going from Friday to Sunday, including YouTubers, myself, streamers, which is what I'll be doing, and all kinds of fun things. And I'm going to be focusing on what I'm going to be doing, and I'll mention, a couple other people that are going to be doing some stuff as well. But a lot of the stuff I've been working on has been stuff for the launch of the game. Primarily, I have a beginner's guide video at the ready. It's going to have 5 tips for all early gamers or early Project Zomboid players. Anybody who's grabbing the game on Steam, who haven't played the game before and only been following it, I have a video. It's going to be called the Project Zomboid Beginner's Guide. It's about 10 minutes long. It's going to have, basically some basic top 5 tips for anybody who's just starting with Zomboid. If you've been playing Zomboid for a long time, the video is not going to tell you anything new, though you might enjoy it anyway. But for all those who are picking up the game and don't really know how to play Zomboid or what to prioritize and what's important in your first few minutes of gameplay and the first few days of surviving, that's what that video is going to be. On top of that, I have an official early look of the game coming out, where I would treat the game like any other. Now, of course, it's going to be very difficult for me to be not biased toward the game, but I'd say I'm pretty damn good at being objective about Zomboid. I am not afraid, as the developers know, to criticize the game when I think it needs to be criticized and to kind of voice my opinion. So I have an official early look of the game coming out on that Friday as well, which is going to launch. It's going to be very Zomboid heavy Friday. It's going to talk about what I like, what I don't like, what could be done better, what I like has been done so far, all these things. I'm just going to be critiquing the game like I would with any early look about the game. The difference is I have about 100 hours put into the game so far, so I know the game pretty fucking well. On top of that, I will be restarting an entirely new Project Zomboid series with a whole new thumbnail and number 1. Now, the reason I'm doing this, and the reason I've kind of slowed down on my typical Zomboid, is because I planned on doing this, and the reason I'm doing this is for all those people who are jumping on board with the game, and want to watch, a solid Let's Play of somebody who's played the game for an incredibly long time. I don't want them to sit there and go, holy crap, I have 140 fucking episodes, 145 episodes to go through. This is a lot. I want them to start at square one with me, with you. We're going to be starting at number 1, and it is going to be the Steam, with the Steam version that's coming out, and we're going to start there. And that's kind of why I've been holding back on a lot of Zomboid episodes, only releasing a few here and there, which I think is a good idea. I think that having that number 1 episode for everybody to start with, to start fresh, is going to be really exciting. And then we will ramp back up to 1 Zomboid episode a day, starting on the launch day. Now, on top of all this YouTube stuff that I've got going on, I am also going to be streaming. I will be streaming on Friday, the day of launch. Myself and Twiggy, Sir Twiggy, who's a streamer, will be streaming on Friday. We're going to be splitting up the day. I think he's taking the earlier half of Friday. I'm taking the later half of Friday. And we're going to be streaming purely Project Zomboid. We're going to have devs on. We're going to be talking to them. We're going to be I'm going to be giving out copies of Zomboid, as I'm sure he will be. There's going to be all kinds of fun stuff going on in the stream. Saturday, I am going to be taking the entirety of the day. Twiggy and I were going to split Saturday, but because of work, he is unable to really do much on Saturday. He might be able to take late Saturday night after I'm well done to keep streaming. But I will be streaming a huge amount on Saturday, a whole bunch of Project Zomboid for everybody to come and watch. Again, we're going to have other developers on and everything, and I'm going to be talking to them and playing the game and talking about it and interacting and giving out games and stuff. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then on Sunday, I believe I will not be streaming, but I will be sure to have a lot of YouTube content up. I will be involved in the streams, like Twiggy could be streaming and I could be either on the Skype call with him or I could be in the chat. I will be present on Sunday, but I will not be streaming myself. And there's going to be somebody else who's going to be streaming. I think it's Danshu. Danshu's going to be streaming on Sunday as well. So this whole weekend coming up is going to be a big Zomboid weekend. You're going to get your Zomboid fix, and it's going to be really exciting to finally get our hands on this game, or get the game out into the general public. So really look forward to this weekend. It's going to be huge. That is another reason I have not announced my community play date as well, is because I have still been kind of waiting on what was going on with Zomboid as far as its release date. I mean, there was even talks that it was going to release, on the 1st of November, even after Christmas. We weren't sure where it was going to hit. So I didn't want to announce the community play date on the off chance that they're like, we're going to do it on this day. And I'm like, oh crap, that's my community play date. I can't do it now. So we will now get through the Zomboid thing this launch weekend. It's going to be super exciting. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then I will work on the community play date for hitting 10,000 subscribers. It's going to be crazy, guys. This has been a day I've been waiting for years, and we'll see just what ends up happening now that we are going to put our baby, I should say the developers are going to put their baby out in front of the public. One of the cool things they're doing, this is going to be a bit of a longer Mondoid, so bear with me here. One of the things they're doing that I'm super happy about, too, is that they're putting out a demo with the game as well. So instead of having to buy into the game, there's a demo you can play, and that demo will allow you to see if it's your cup of tea or not, if it's gonna run smoothly or not, if it's gonna be a game you're willing to invest in right now or not. It's taking that step, in my opinion, that necessary step further to ensure consumer happiness. And it's going to allow, even if they don't get those buyers right away, it's going to allow those people who are interested to try it out at the very least and know that this is going to be a game that they're going to want to check out down the line. It is not saying there's no pay gate here. You can't play Zomboid unless you pay $15.99 or your regional equivalent. That is not there. It's not taking that, God forbid that, for saying this, but that dead linger, the dead linger approach, where they're like, it's $20, it's barely a game, have fun, it's broken beyond all comparison. There's going to be a demo, you can try it before you buy it, which is such a smart move. I didn't even know they were going to do this. I think that is such a smart move on Indie Stone's part to do that. I think that's going to help them in the long term greatly, and I think that this is going to be a fun weekend. I'm so excited to see this game hit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to stop here before I just ramble on. I can't wait to see you all on Friday. Get ready. Zomboid is coming to the masses. If you're one of those once-a-weekers, I will see you next week. Hopefully, I'll see you this weekend. You know what? I'm not even going to give you my typical Mondoid outro. I will see you all this weekend. Bye-bye.